Welcome to Albums Anonymous. I'm Troy. That's Ryan. You can think of this as your weekly radio show where we drop the freshest tracks straight out of our permanent record studio. And you can only hear those tracks here on the Albums Anonymous podcast. But we center every episode around an album that we truly love, that are near and dear to our hearts. And this week's episode, we are covering Colors by Between the Buried and Me. My personal favorite metal band of all time. And I love this album so much. But before we jump into that album, I would love to start off with some music. There was an anti-punk band that we brought onto the program last week called No Offense. Mm-hmm. They had a song on there that Freddie Uranus, another one of our artists, found and covered it. And now we have a new version of this song called Chocolate Soft Serve. I would love to just start us off with that if you're all right with that.
Yep. Sounds yummy. Let's go.
What's your favorite type of ice cream? What's the texture you prefer? Do you like the kind for scooping, or are you predisposed to soft serve? What flavor is your favorite? Vanilla with berry preserve. Mine is undoubtedly chocolate. Let's dispense chocolate soft serve. Slowly at the top, it leaves a nice little curl. Don't forget to wipe the nozzle, otherwise the hanging soft serve gets smeared all over. It makes an awful mess of chocolate soft serve. Wipe that nozzle after you dispense your chocolate soft serve. Slowly at the top, it leaves a nice little curl.
It's even more disturbing slow.
Yeah, well, is that disturbing better or disturbing worse? Which version did you like better, do you think?
This one's better because you just hear every succulent word that comes out of Freddie Uranus's mouth. So last night I was thinking, and I was like, you know what, bro? You should be proud of yourself with this podcast with your boy Troy, because it's pretty stupid and pretty awesome, you know? And like we may not be curing cancer, but we're doing something.
Well, you never know. We could be curing cancer in the future as a result. I mean, we have no idea what the impact emotionally and physically that this podcast could have on our listeners over time.
Wow, that is a bold statement.
I mean, we don't know, right?
Yeah,
like we could be doing a huge favor for humanity in general by just doing this podcast weekly.
Well, okay, I think I follow, and maybe you mean it kind of like this. Like, we have this band called Lamb of God that really loves food.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, yeah, they're really into food.
And
We've got quite a
especially-
few new tracks of Lamb of God that we will be playing on this program. And it's in line definitely with the primary content of what we're focusing this episode around, which is the album Colors by Between the Buried and Me. And so I've been listening to this band for a long time. But I know that this was the first, when I told you this is the album that I wanted to cover this week, you had never really listened to them before.
No.
So you this is fresh to your ears. So before I even start diving into the background on the band and the album and what it means to me and everything, I'm just curious what your initial thoughts were, having listened through the album newly.
Yeah. I listened to it a couple times, and I would say that this album came to me at a very good time because I'm not having a good time at my job right now. It is crazy and it's stressful, and like I had just like this mountain of work. I was like, oh man, I have to work on this workflow and fix a bunch of shit. And then I was just like, I'm going to listen to the album. And I just kept listening to the album because it's awesome. It's like, how would I describe it? Death metal, like with a good singer that sings melodically, and then it's like melodic riffs, but a lot of like kind of odd time, and then they'll just like devolve into like a weird banjo solo or something. It's like fucking wild.
Yeah.
This band, but it's rocking. So freaking rocking. And I needed it because it's like, fuck these people I work with. I got to do this workflow for like the next 5 hours. And it was like, and yeah, it was really cool.
Nice.
Dug it hard.
Yeah. Well, trying to describe it is actually pretty difficult, right? Like, cause it's pretty all over, right? Like it's at the core, it is a technical death metal album there's no question, no way around that. It's progressive death metal. But the way that they described it, I just pulling this straight out of Wikipedia, in an interview, the band actually described it themselves as a 65-minute opus of nonstop pummeling beautiful music. We have described this release as new wave polka grunge. And then they went on to say we also describe it as adult contemporary progressive death metal.
Hell yeah.
Which doesn't clear that much up when you just hear that on its own. But if you listen to the album, you're like, yeah, I could see that. Because it really is, I mean, so the coolest thing about this album, I think, is that it was always, they wrote it to be an actual uninterrupted full 64 minutes piece of music. So the entire album, they specifically made it's 8 tracks, but they made it as if it was supposed to be 8 movements of like a symphony.
Wow.
Which is really crazy to think about because of just how insanely technical and fast it is. Mm-hmm. Pretty much from beginning to end, with like these built-in movements where it just completely drops off into like these slow, melodic, beautiful like soundscapes, and like then all of a sudden you're in like a bluegrass folk sort of, riff that goes straight back into this like crazy technical math rock, and these growling vocals, but then these beautiful like clean vocal harmonies, and like they just like mix in so many elements into like, it's a death metal album, but it's like, it's so much more than that, right? Like there's so much else that they like, they just took their creative freedom to a new level with this. Mm-hmm. And I think the reason it like stuck out to me so much, and I think I'm not the only one. There are a lot of people that kind of discovered Between the Buried and Me after this particular album, is because like this was like right as I was like graduating high school, right? And so like all of high school, I got really into emo and then screamo, and then I got really into like hardcore and then like metalcore. Like I got progressively like into the more heavier and heavier and heavier stuff. But I was kind of like getting bored with it too by the end of high school. Like I was kind of like, I'm kind of over the like screaming vocals, and it was kind of a lot of the same sort of stuff over and over. And I was like starting to get into bands like Radiohead and like other stuff like that. And then somebody turned me on to this band, and it was when Colors came out. And I listened through this, and I was just like immediately like struck by just, first of all, like how insanely technical it was. Like just the ability to even play the music that they're playing. It's so complex. The rhythms are just like nearly impossible to follow, right? Like I just can't even imagine playing this, at much less composing it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think that's what blew my mind most. But then as you're going through the album, you're just hearing all these like other influence. There's jazz influence in there. There's like, it sounds like almost like Pink Floyd or like Queen harmonies at certain times and stuff. Like there's just like all this other musical elements to it that just made me think like, wow, these guys are taking their creative side of metal to some like crazy new heights that I just hadn't really heard before.
That's really interesting that you said that was like basically designed to be like one big piece, you know, with like different movements. Cause like looking back, I wasn't thinking that when I was listening to it. I was just like rocking to it. But looking back, I was like, everything. I did notice that a lot of songs cut like from one right into the other. I did notice that.
I did the transitions are completely seamless if you listen through that back, and the songs are mostly really, really long too. Right. So it's hard to even know when they're transitioning to.
For sure. I didn't notice this on every track though. Cause you know, usually I try to listen to these things pretty intentionally, but I was listening to it during work, but I listened to it like 3 times in a row.
Nice.
Because I was like, what just happened that last hour of music? This is awesome. Yeah. I want to hear it again. And I basically couldn't pick out like notes of like, oh, I like this track or that track. Like I like the whole thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like I just going through it because that's how I experienced it. You know, that's one of the cool things about music. You know, sometimes depending on how much time you got, you know, maybe you can't just rifle through the whole album, you know, and I would have a different experience if I wasn't working, if I was just fully just like immersed in it. And, you know, or like, for example, when my weed candy kicks in soon, if I were to listen to that album, you know, in the next 20 minutes when it's about to kick in, like I would experience that a little different, you know? So yeah, it was really good. And, yeah, definitely like the banjo parts and the polka parts and like they're complete, just like journeys from like one style of music to a shockingly different one. That threw me for a loop. And I was like, how have I never heard this band before? And like that's one of the reasons why we're doing this on top of our own humorous. Is that the right word? Humorous or hubris?
Hubris.
Okay.
It depends on what you're going for. I'm not sure, but
did I say humorous?
I think so.
Damn.
Well, part of what we're doing is at least attempting to be humorous, but
yeah.
But we're also doing this for our own hubris at the same time too. So like, I don't know.
Is that the same thing as masturbation? Like,
no,
you're like,
no. What are you?
It's like hubrising yourself. like your own hubris is kind of like a mental masturbation. Is it not?
I don't think so. I've
Isn't
never heard. No, I don't
it?
think so. In it,
Isn't it?
I think that weed candy maybe has kicked in for you already. But
Yeah, I think like I'm edging. Like I'm like right on the edge of when it's like going to be full blown kicked in. But my impressions will get better, or I will think they are better.
well, we'll find out when we listen back through this episode.
Isn't it?
Hopefully tomorrow.
I think that's already a good start. No clue what
It's
we're talking
definitely an attempt at a British accent, at the very least, and it's a pretty good attempt.
about. Oh, thank you. From Sussex. Nope, that wasn't good. Damn. You know, you start thinking about it too much, and it's not going to be good. But,
Well-
you know, I have a little ditty I would like to play.
Okay, yeah.
Just, you know, sometimes we just like to throw in like silly little things that we like, you know, because we have a record label, so we get to do whatever we want. So it's kind of fun. So this song, I think it was by the Party Lemons, called Mountable, and it's just a chorus idea, really. They're definitely workshopping it with some of our other artists. So let's see how it goes.
What did you say the name of the band was?
Party Lemons.
Party Lemons?
Yeah,
Okay.
Party Lemons. And this song's called Mountable.
That goal is not insurmountable. That goal is totally mountable. Girl is not insurmountable. That girl is totally mountable. Man is not insurmountable. That man is totally mountable. Y'all totally mountable. Y'all totally mountable. Just weird.
Okay, that was weird.
What? What was weird about it?
Well, that one very deep voice. I'm not sure what he even said at some point in there. What did he say?
Just weird.
Yeah, so that was weird. But yeah, I guess I get where it's going though, with the like just assessing whether or not a man or woman is mountable.
Oh, let me correct you a little bit here, though. Yes, but also it started out being a goal being mountable or insurmountable.
A goal?
Yeah.
Well, what does that mean?
Like, you know, people have goals. Sometimes they feel like they're insurmountable.
Oh, okay.
But that goal was totally mountable.
Okay, I thought it said girl. I thought you were talking about...
And then it goes on to say, girl
Okay, so it did.
is insurmountable.
It was hard to differentiate between goal
That
and
girl is totally mountable.
Okay.
And then it goes on to say, boy.
That's a
And then
man.
y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't say boy.
I am too. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a weird track. But thank you for sharing it.
Okay. Yeah.
Would you like to play some Lamb of Cod, or
Yeah.
would you like to talk a little more about the album? Maybe we play a Lamb of Cod track and then we can come back, because the Lamb of Cod is much more in line with the style and influence of the content around this album.
Yeah. And so is Life Metal, and I have some tracks from there.
Life metal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, I haven't heard any life metal yet.
No, it's
There's
positively awesome.
Yeah, Lamb of Cod. I don't know that we need to introduce anything about that, but would you mind playing the track Soufflé au Poisson?
Yeah. By Lemacod.
Generously butter a 1.5-liter souffle dish. Coat the inside with a dusting of grated Parmesan or breadcrumbs. This gives the souffle traction to climb the walls of the dish. Create the panada, melt the butter in a saucepan over medium Butter is thick and smooth. Remove from heat. Stir in the egg yolks one by one, then fold in the flaked fish, mustard, nutmeg, and herbs. Let it cool slightly. In a clean glass or metal bowl, whisk the 5 egg whites with a pinch of salt until stiff peaks form. They should be firm enough that you could theoretically hold the bowl over your head without a mess. Take a large spoonful of the whites and stir it vigorously into the fish base to lighten it. Gently fold the remaining whites into the base using a spatula. Use a cut and fold motion to keep the air bubbles intact. Stop as soon as no large white streaks remain. Dish for a top hat effect. Run your thumb around the inside rim of the dish to create a small channel. Bake at 200 degrees Celsius for 25 to 30 minutes. Do not open the oven door during the first 20 minutes, or the temperature drop will cause a premature collapse. Serve immediately. A souffle waits for no one. Have your guests at the table before you pull it out of the
Dude, that was sick. I want to learn that riff.
Yeah.
That
That's
was-
pretty cool.
That swept me off my feet.
It's a very technical dish and a very technical song to go along with that.
Yeah. I could see like seafood restaurants like playing this, like, oh, the special today is soufflé à poisson. And, you know, usually the specials cost more money, right? And then you hear that song come on and you're like, subconsciously, I'll get the soufflé à poisson with a nice bottle of wine.
Well, I could definitely see in the kitchen the chef, sous chef, like sharpen their knives for that song.
Yeah. I'll sharpen my knives for you, girl. Do you think chefs say that?
I'm sure some have.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I mean, I would doubt it's ever worked, but maybe.
I'll let you touch my greasy oils.
What?
My spatula. Okay. I think it kicked in. Yeah. Delicious sounding song. It did remind me a lot of the band. Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
What was do you have any more facts about that band? I'd like to learn more.
Well, so
Where are they from?
they're from South Carolina.
Okay.
They about a year before they released this album, they had released a couple of studio albums before that were pretty standard technical death metal, really not progressive like this was.
Yeah.
But then they released an album called The Anatomy of 1 year before they released Colors. And that album was entirely covers of some of their most like favorite artists, like favorite songs from favorite artists that influenced them. And very few of them were metal. So it was a very surprising kind of release that they did. They had songs on there from Queen, Pink Floyd, Counting Crows, Soundgarden.
Oh yeah.
They had
I think I heard that cover actually. That came on afterwards on the radio.
yeah, and actually the Counting Crows song Colorblind, as I heard that song on that album for the first time. I didn't know who else had actually sung it before, and I was just like, that is a beautiful song. It's very simple, but just like really, really pretty song. And I've always loved that song ever since. So and my kids actually love that song too. Like they ask me to play it all the time. Anyways, I had first heard that song on that Anatomy of album. But it was just a really interesting thing for a metal band to do, to actually release this like essentially covers album of a bunch of covers that were very true to the original. Like they didn't try to like make that, like metalize them to make them more like their own genre. They kept it true to the genres of those actually original songs. They had a King Crimson song on there, 3 of a Perfect Pair, which is just an insanely awesome song. But you can see the like them like starting to kind of think back through what kind of music do we really want to make? Like, do we want to be tied to one specific genre, or do we want to start mixing in elements that we like have kind of formed who we are, right? And that's like the kind of the anatomy of concept of it. And then you see how they sort of implemented that with colors.
That's
right?
amazing.
Because you can hear all of those influences throughout like the album. And it's really interesting to listen through the anatomy of, and then go and listen to colors, because you can really hear it, what they're trying to do. And it's
I might
interesting.
do that, actually.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. And so lyrically, also,
Can I touch on this?
Oh yeah,
before
go ahead.
move
Yeah,
on to
yeah.
the next
Go
thing?
ahead.
Because you said something interesting in there, and like from my experience playing bands, it's really true, and it's really hard to do, and that is to like allow your band to, and the music that you create, to be the sum of all parts. You know, like band leaders out there, are you like talking to your bandmates and asking them what they've been listening to, what they've been writing? You know, like what other instruments do they play? Bring all that stuff to the table. Like bring out the creativity of everyone in the band, you know? I mean, so many bands fall apart, I think, for one, because at a certain point, somebody feels like they're just like, you know, treated like a drum machine, or like a, you know, just like this is your role. And like that role gets boring, you know, at a certain point. So like, I feel like you can make something truly unique if you actually take the time to like just break away from the kind of concept that you have in your head of what this band's going to be, and just let it be the sum of all your parts together, you know?
Yeah.
And that's fucking hard to do, but you could all do it. It's all possible. And it's beautiful when a band does that.
Yeah.
And like in this like style of music, it is so hard because these guys must be insane. The amount of time it took to write this music and play it perfectly, like insane.
To be able to write the music, to actually compose the music, is an insane feat on its own. But to actually be able to play that like repeatedly, exactly the way that it's supposed to be, is a mind-blowing feat to me.
Yeah.
Like they did do that. Like it's not something that they did like very often, but they did play this album all 64 minutes front to back in its entirety live without stopping, which is like, think about the physical and mental load that takes to be able to like actually perform that style of music in that amount of time. Like that is a mind-blowing thing to me.
I would like to think about it. And when I think about it, I need a sip of water after just playing one of these songs.
Yeah.
And I'm just clicking a button.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But if you're like the drummer or lead singer or guitarist,
Any
or
of them.
any of them, bass player, to play that style of music so flawlessly, so for 64 minutes straight without a sip of water, you know, scratching your balls, whatever
absurd.
it is,
Yeah.
you know, that's hard.
I imagine that they all like wear camelbacks.
Yeah. It's just like,
I mean, otherwise you just collapse on stage, you know, like it's crazy.
business idea. You know how like some guitar stands, they have like the guitar picks you could get right off of there if you drop one.
Yep.
What if there's like some water, like from a Camel bag, some snacks, like just like an apple, you just take a bite of.
Oh, like on a mic stand?
Yeah, connected to your mic stand.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it just like, yeah.
Just have a
from right-
protein bar like hanging on the side.
dude, like a cake pop right here, protein bar, just like a little piece of jerky, just some raw meat, you know?
Potato chip dispenser, kind of like how you would see like a gerbil eat out of, you know? Just
Dude, they should set those up at bars and just let people have those for free. But there would be like a little camera or photo booth set up right there. Like that's the cost of it. You could get free chips, but they're going to come out of like a hamster dispenser. And we're going to take a photo of you for a social media campaign.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hey.
you could take it. Take that idea if you want it.
Yeah. In a post-COVID world, anything's possible.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we as humans start running out of good ideas. And so we think the bad ideas now become the good ideas. And I think that's what's going to happen. Ask any sci-fi writer.
Any sci-fi writer. Yeah.
And I don't read sci-fi, so just ask them. Just see what
dystopian.
happens. Just see what happens. But I think we should listen to some more music here. And I would like to play a band that was also influenced by Beyond the Buried in Me.
Between the buried and me.
I thought I nailed it. This is how my work life goes too. Like I'll do something like end of the day, and like they're on East Coast time and I'm on West Coast time, and then I'll like hit send. I'm like nailed it, and then I wake up to like just like a shit storm of like a 5-alarm chili and like sirens going off, and I'm just like finishing my first cup of coffee. I'm just like, oh fuck. You know, everybody's like mad at me. So yeah, nailed it.
Sorry to hear that happens.
Dude, don't sound so sad. It's fine. It will take its course eventually. We'll see how it goes.
All right.
But
well, there you go.
we're going to listen to a band that likes to, you know, stand on the sunny side of the street, to quote a Pogue song, Sunny Side of Street. So this band is called Life Metal, and this song is called Sun.
When the darkness gets a hold of me, I seek wisdom from Rafi. Just when evil thinks it's won, I start singing Mr. Golden Sun. And there's evil all around, but I choose not that part of town. My dwelling is quite nice. It is gated, safe and quiet. No need to lock the door. The neighborhood's secure. Bathing naked in the sun, doing yoga, having fun. Sun, UV like my buns. Focus on the good things to make life more fun. Sun, give me that D. It boosts my immune system, makes me healthy. Oh no! I ran out of sunscreen. My iced tea is low, and there is a cloud in the sky. But I'm saved at last. Delivery was fast. Sunscreen and some tea on the porch, waiting for me. The dark cloud drifts away, out of sight from my eye. I lather up my bod, the sunscreen I applied. Sun, UV like my buns. Focus on the good things to make life more fun. Sun, give me that D. It boosts my immune system, makes me
Damn. Give me that D.
Vitamin D is so important.
Son, you feel like my buns.
Good use
That was
of
good.
language there. You know,
The Rafi influence is a particular, particularly surprising influence for metal, but I really like the way those guys incorporated that. That was pretty clever,
Yeah.
pretty creative.
yeah, me too. Mr.
Metal
Gold-
Blade, is that what you call them?
Life metal.
Oh, life metal.
Yeah.
Why did I say? Oh yeah.
Oh, so you were gonna? I cut you off earlier, and I apologize, but you were gonna talk about the lyrics of the album for Album Club this week.
Well, yeah. So in general, like I don't pay a ton of attention to lyrics. I think I've mentioned that numerous times on the podcast, right? Like I tend to just, that's where my ears go, is to the like instrumentation and all of that. But for this podcast in particular, I decided to look into a little bit of the lyrics and kind of get a little background on it. And just in something that I found when they themselves, I think is Tommy Rogers, who is the lead vocalist, described it like the lyrical themes from this album was really all tied to the band's creative freedom on this album, and that being the direction that they wanted to go. Like I think they were they still loved metal, but they really wanted to like branch out of just being boxed into what they described as the white walls of a specific genre or specific scene.
Yeah.
And White Walls is the closing track on the album, which is still to this day probably my favorite metal song of all time. Last time I saw Between the Buried and Me live, they closed out their show with White Walls, and I just like lost my mind. I started like moshing and everything, and it's just an epic song, just from beginning to end, but particularly in the middle where it kind of, you have this like vocal, this like rounds of vocal harmonies that are just these really pretty build up. And it's just this kind of slow crescendo into just that breakdown that comes in. It's just, it's one of those moments where you like, it's just like this perfect emotional payoff for like everything that it's been like working up to. But I just thought that was an interesting kind of concept to take into an entire album, was just purely the creative freedom to like do what they wanted with the music. You know what I mean? Like I thought that was a really interesting thing.
Yeah. I was really curious about the lyrics. I didn't look them up myself, but I wanted to. And I kept on picking out some like just random lyrics that just did not fit your typical death metal song.
Yeah.
And so like, do you have any like good examples of like kind of just some of the songs that were like kind of like oddball lyrics? Like as I'm talking, I don't know if you wouldn't mind like looking that up, but, yeah, I would like pick out some just like, cause like, look, death metal, progressive, melodic death metal, whatever it is, a lot of these metal genres, a lot of times you're just, the singing is, the content's about darkness, dark shit, dark things.
Yeah.
So it's like,
it's a lot of just darkness.
It's a lot of darkness, right? So when something in that genre does not talk about darkness, it's going to stick out. And like, really, metal guys, I've played in metal bands before. Is it all darkness all the time? Or is that just like, be honest with yourselves, is that just what you think this kind of music needs? Because you could just write about anything else. Just write a song, write a poem, and put it in your song. It doesn't have to be about like sacrificing lambs or some shit. You could have just had a nice meal of lamb for dinner. Whether it was sacrificed or not, you could have a nice dinner, some lamb, some wine, good company. Write about that.
Yeah, dude. Have you ever listened to, or not listened to, but watched the show Metalocalypse on Adult Swim?
I know of it because it was like I went to like some metal fest and Metalocalypse played. So like
Death Clock.
Death Clock.
Death Clock is the band
Yes.
from the show Metalocalypse.
There you go. There you go. And so like I kind of experienced that
Yeah.
live at a metal festival.
After listening to this album, I strongly suggest just trying out that show.
Okay.
It is so funny the way that it's essential. The concept of the show is basically it's like the world's not just greatest death metal band. They're like the biggest band in the world. So much so that the entire world's economy is like dependent on the release of their like out studio records. And so like when their albums are like getting delayed, it's like wrecking the economy and stuff. And like
hilarious.
People are rioting in the streets, and like all their shows that they play, like all the crowd has to sign releases that their families won't sue if they die at the concert, because they're just so brutal.
Dude.
It's really, really funny. There's like there's a Christmas episode where they are like, they bring a Christmas tree into their house, which is just like a castle of like just death. Like everything's black, everything's black, and like just like daggers and shit like hanging from the walls and stuff. And like they're just like looking at this Christmas tree, and he's just like, it's pretty metal actually when you think about it. You're basically just killing the tree and then putting it on display to humiliate it by hanging a bunch of shit all over it, and just like,
dude,
you're like, yeah, that's pretty metal, man. Just like,
oh my god, that show sounds awesome, man. Like,
yeah, they're
metal
like,
band,
it's so good.
like I played with this metal band for a while. At the time in high school, we were called Burning Times, and then at a certain point, they got good after I left. And they called themselves Mysidia, and they're still releasing music under that name. And they're good. Mysidia is good. If you're liking this band, Between the Buried and Me or Beyond? Between. You'd probably like Mysidia, but like hanging out with those guys, they're hilarious, and like just the jokes that we'd have, and just like the banter. Like I was like, when I was listening to this album, I was thinking of the lead singer of that band, Chris Koshan, and I was like, dude, we need to figure out how to get like remote guests on the show, because he would have been great for this episode.
Yeah,
he would have been great. He's hilarious. His band's good, talented musician. He would have been awesome. But we'll get that figured out for future episodes. But like, dude, it's super fun, like being in a band and just like the dumb jokes that you have. Like, one band I was in, like, just every time you hear like kind of like a weird sound, somebody would be like, "Oh, you should mic it. You should mic that."
Yeah.
Just stupid things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like when somebody, so oftentimes you're like recording and using like a bathroom, when you're like trying to record a demo or something. And then when somebody has to use the bathroom, you just keep the recording on. Just
You're using it for the reverb in the bathroom? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. But
that's smart. Yeah.
That show
never tried that.
That show sounds really funny and totally up my alley. I'm excited.
It's especially hilarious if you love metal music.
Yeah.
Because it like makes fun of it, but it's also like very true at the same time. But like the creator of it, Brendan Small, I think is his name. He like writes the music for Death Clock, and he's like, I think he plays the guitar.
Oh, nice.
So very talented dude.
Yeah.
Also just fucking hilarious.
Dude, what was your gateway into like death metal? Like you kind of touched on it earlier, but like what was like the genre or the band like right before you got into death metal?
It wasn't. I think it was really a progression, and it took quite a while. Like it wasn't like I just got into something and then it led directly to another. Like if I really had to trace it back, it's to Toxicity by System of a Down.
Oh,
like when that album came out, I fell in love with the song Chop Suey, and then got the album and fell in love with the entire album, listened to it countless times, right? When I was, 11.
Yeah.
And so that album changed my life because that was really my gateway to good music in general. But it was also very heavy music. I mean, that's a good example of a band that's like taking elements of metal and like more new metals, but so it's not that heavy, but at the time it felt very heavy to me. You know, like I'd never heard really listened or appreciated anything that heavy.
Totally.
But over time, like I think when I got into high school, I got in like started getting into like emo music, because that was just kind of like what got popular for like underground music at the time. still a bit of a guilty pleasure for myself, just to be clear. But
Sorry, I was massaging my chin. I think it threw him off a little bit.
no, that's okay. You can massage your chin as much as you
So
want.
tight. So tight.
But then, like, progressing throughout high school, I think I got more into more heavier and heavier music. Like, I got more into the screamy style of, you know, that screamo stuff, and then more into like the hardcore, and then post-hard, or, you know, that kind of progression into metalcore and math metal and like all that kind of stuff. And like the growls got even more intense and deeper and more guttural, but like I was able to like appreciate the I know my voice even just thinking about like the screaming.
That's not what I was going to say.
What?
Band name idea. Growl movement.
Yes, that is good. We have so many bands and artists that are revolve around these bodily functions. We could always use more. Yeah, growl movement.
No, wait. You had vowel movement last episode.
Yeah, I did have vowel movement. That was a song by No Offense.
I see. Yeah. I just wrote that.
Where it was just, but that was just a song where all the lyrics are purely vowels. So it was just a lot of.
Hey, Mom, what's for breakfast?
This is like a death metal guy. Like, just.
Well, that's what Nathan Explosion from Metalocalypse.
Is it really?
He sounds like that all the time. Like when he's talking in normal. Like there's an episode where they're like in a dispute over like the rights to their songs, and like the two guys on one side in the courtroom are like trying to make the case, and then Nathan Explosion and the other guy are on the other side of the court, and Nathan Explosion's like, "We'll give you half." Oh no, sir! It's just like the funniest thing.
Hey, Mom, can I get a Chalupa Supreme after soccer practice?
Yes.
You're
You
not
should
my
talk
mom.
about like that. I mean, that you sound like Batman, like Christian Bale and Batman.
I really have to use my diaphragm to the point where it hurts.
I can't talk like that for very long at all. Like trying to do that voice.
You
like,
don't do it
I don't
through
know.
your throat.
Well, how you're not doing it,
I do it with my diaphragm, bro.
but how?
Look, go. I'm not going to do this directly in the mic, but if you go, hut, hike, try it.
Hike.
Do you feel something like right here in your belly? Down here?
Hike.
Yeah. Yeah. That's your diaphragm. It's the diaphragm.
But I still can't do it.
So it
I
takes
could
a
never
little
do
bit
it.
more.
I could never do that loud enough.
That's how you do that.
But I could never do that loud enough.
Right.
You know,
Well,
like
you got to
those-
train. You got to train your diaphragm, bro.
Wow.
That's how you do it. You know, you start engaging your diaphragm, and then because there's like no way these death metal singers can sustain a set like singing from their throat.
No.
No.
I've always wondered that actually. I've never bothered. I never bothered to try for
Yeah.
longer than like 2 seconds. So yeah, but that has amazed me though that like they can do that.
Though that's why we need to. Because I mean, I don't really know. I'm just guessing, but that's why we need to get my buddy Chris on here because he's a death metal singer.
Oh.
He's really good.
Yeah, we
Man,
should.
we could-
I would love to like pick his brain on that.
Finding the mysteries of how he does it.
Poke him in the diaphragm.
Yeah. So you never asked me what my gateway to this kind of music
Well,
was.
I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
I didn't even finish my whole thing about it.
Because I said growl movement.
Yeah,
Okay.
but go ahead. What was your gateway?
Oh,
What was your evolution?
Iron Maiden. Once my brother got me into Iron Maiden, I was just like, all metal is awesome. And so I was just hoping to hearing whatever metal came after that. And, you know, you start playing one kind of metal and yeah, you meet other people that are into other kinds of metal and
Yeah,
yada, yada, yada. And there you go. But
those wearing band shirts back then also, like, I don't know if you were in that crowd, but like I tended to start hanging out with other people that pretty much exclusively wore band shirts
Yeah.
all the time, like every day. I think I
Yeah.
wore a band shirt almost every day when I was in high school.
That makes sense. I mean, at least that's like mid range. It's not like your like butt plate level or like those guys with like the denim jacket with like the pins.
Oh yeah. No, I never had that.
There's always like
but
one of those
yeah.
at your high school.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's got like a butt plate of his favorite band, you
Yeah.
know, like flapping from his ass, you know, like
Held on with a safety pin.
it's kids like that that help me not get beat up. Cause you know, if I didn't go to a big enough high school to have one of those butt plate kids, you know, or somebody in that kind of league, I probably would have gotten targeted for sure.
Yeah.
Like, now you're the weakest one.
Bro, I remember going to Warp Tour one year,
Warp Tour.
and there was a guy who was wearing a butt plate like that with like really, really skinny jeans and like black platform boots. I mean, just decked out like that.
Yeah.
But he was like in his late 40s, maybe early 50s.
It doesn't age well.
And he was like by himself, and he was just having a great time by himself. And
Love that.
that was definitely the last Warped Tour that I went to.
Yeah.
Because I was like probably 19 and I felt old already at Warped Tour, you know. Like I felt like I was on the upper end of like how much further can we take this, you know, this scene. And that's
That's why I love Nasally Yours so much, because it's just like these are these like emo guys that like, okay, when you're 19, you're trying to get girls and stand out. Cool, right?
Yeah.
It's like you do the emo thing. You got the skinny jeans, you know, your boner's kind of sticking side pulling, you know, all that good stuff. And then but when do you transition out of that look? And I think for some people, like Nasally Yours, they just never did.
Takes a little longer for some people, and some of them they just never did. They hang on to it forever. Can we play a Nasally Yours track?
You're inspired, huh?
I want to hear one now.
let's
Can we
do it.
play one?
Which one?
How about the original one? I forget what it's even called.
Oh yeah, I'll find it for you.
What's the name of that track?
My heart is forever broken.
Yes, let's play it.
A girl broke up with me, 'cause I can't
Guilty
keep
pleasure.
my hair out of my face. She said my makeup wasn't feminine, and girl skinny jeans were for girls. I'm so emotional about everything. My heart is in a constant state of being broken. I'm existential. Whatever that means. Dashboard conviction, oh, is so well
The angst.
Yeah, the angst. Yeah, it just makes me think of all those guys that like every once in a while, and you see them in Southern California too. Like you'll see and Portland. Like every once in a while, you'll see a guy with like the gauges still, and you'll be like, "Bro, you're like 40, man. Is that look still working for you?" But it's fine. I'm actually kind of proud of them too, to just being themselves. Because a lot of those people, they found a way to be themselves too, and that's respectable. Like I'm myself doing this, but a lot of times, like I'm living a double life. I'm gonna admit it. I'm like musical Superman. I'm Clark Kent at work, but then. I'm not.
Wow, you're comparing yourself to Superman and Clark Kent. That's pretty. I mean, you are.
Yeah.
You are, though.
Well, I'm really high flying with confidence today, compared to myself to Superman. But in my mind, in this moment, I'm just saying. But those guys that respect to people that like are individuals. Like, this is who I am. I'm still the butt plate guy. I'm still the skinny jean guy. Good for you, because you probably know who you are, and what happens with the ladies happens with the ladies. Yeah. Life shakes out, the way it shakes out, and maybe those people are really, really happy, and I applaud it, honestly.
Yeah, I think the pushback I would give on that though is that all of that though at the end of the day was like a fad and a trend at a certain point, right? And so you were, even if you were like being alternative by going that route, it's still a fad that you were following. Like, you weren't the first person to come up with any of that, right? So it's not like,
Counter.
But go ahead. Yeah. Counterpoint.
I see your point, but what about the people that entered the fad after the fad was long dead?
Well, that genuinely does take courage.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, in metal, as mentioned, I played in a metal band in high school. If you want to get girls, do not start a metal band in high school. Now that it's not the 80s. I mean, holy shit. At one point in time, the metal guys were getting chicks. But if that's the band you started in high school, you're not going to get girls, except for maybe that one that just kind of lingers around the band, and then nobody hooks up with her. Because not one of you in the band has a clue that this girl likes one of you. If not all of you.
Well, that's good advice for the youth of the young musicians listening to the podcast. I think if you are good enough, though, it doesn't matter what kind of music you play, you'll do well.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, this band, between the Buried and me, nailed it. So good. I bet you they get all kinds of girls. Yeah. You get to a certain level, you're gonna get girls. But you might go through like 30 years if not.
Well, they've been doing it they have been doing it a long time. Yeah. I think it was like 2002 was when they put their first album out.
Yeah.
But they do it well. They are technically absolutely astonishingly talented musicians. Like, if you just take any one of the musicians aside and just look, like, if you watch them on their own play any of the music that they're playing from this album or any of their songs, it's just like you're like watching them play. Just like, how many thousands of hours have they had to have spent to get that good at that? It's just like, that's one component of what makes it so amazing.
Could you look up like the list of like instruments that these people play? Like, who plays what? Who are the band members? How many? Who plays what?
How many instruments they play?
Yeah.
on the album or just in general?
In general. I'm curious.
That's a good
I'm
question.
sure like if you start looking it up, that most of them are like multi-instrumentalists.
Well, I know they all play multiple instruments, but I know the lead guitarist plays keyboards in addition to singing, or not like guitarist plays keyboard in addition to singing.
Yeah.
But I'm curious. I know the bassist was like he was like a jazz bassist for a long time before he started playing metal.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
And I will say, Life Metal does have another track called Sun 2. So the sequel, the first Sun. But we also got some really good Lamb of God to play too.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more recipes that Lamb of God has up their sleeve. Yeah, so Tommy Rogers, vocals and keyboards on In Between the Buried and Me, but he also, I remember he released a solo album where I forgot this until now because it was actually a very good album. I really liked it when he dropped it, but he played almost all the instruments on that album. So he's a very talented multi-instrumentalist on his own. Dan Briggs is the bassist, but he also plays keyboards and guitars, described as an incredible musician capable of playing many different instruments, contributing bass, keyboards, and other textures. Paul Wagner is the lead guitarist, mostly does guitar. I don't see much else on there. I'm not sure. I'm not finding a whole lot else as far as like what other instruments they play.
Yeah. It'd be kind of crazy. I just thought of this idea. What if there's a band where like they go up on stage and just like maybe just a cannon or something, like just random instruments get thrown up on stage and they have to play them. Like it's a video game almost, like, all right, boom, get up on stage and now like this guy's playing the kazoo, this guy's playing the bass, this guy's playing like a djembe,
That's actually a really good idea for a live act.
That'd be
sick. I would go to see a show like that.
Just instruments show up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then they
It's just part of the gimmick that
randomized.
you're supposed to bring an instrument to just throw on stage. and then just see what they do.
That'd be
see what
awesome.
happens.
That'd be so sick.
Yeah. If you have a band of artists who are all talented enough to actually like play whatever they get thrown at them,
Yeah.
like that could be an actually like genuinely awesome show to watch.
I'd watch it. See what happens. But I think we should play another track here, man.
Yeah.
Can I play Sun 2? Or should we play some Lamb of God?
No, go ahead.
Okay, cool. Sun 2, and then we'll play. I'm really eyeing this pub style fish and chips song because I really like fish and chips.
I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
Let's play that one first, and then we'll go to.
Whatever. Yeah, we can play it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, let's play the fish and chips one by Lamb of God, and then we'll go to Sun 2 by Life Metal after.
All right, sounds good.
Your fish, haddock is fine, but for God's sake, God is always the prime choice. Lamb of God. The secret, keep your batter ingredients ice cold. The thermal shock between the cold batter and hot oil creates that signature airy, crispy crust. Prep the chips, soak your cut potatoes in cold water for 30 minutes to remove excess starch. Pat them bone dry with a towel. Heat oil to 160 Celsius. Fry the chips for 5 to 7 minutes until they are soft but not yet browned. Drain and let them rest on paper towels. The beer batter, whisk together the flour, cornstarch, baking powder, and a pinch of salt. Slowly pour in the cold beer, whisking gently until just combine a few small lumps of fine. Don't overmix or you'll lose the carbonation. Fry the fish, increase the oil temperature to 180 Celsius. Dredge each fish fillet in a little plain flour. This helps the batter stick, then dip into the beer batter. Carefully lower the fish into the oil. Fry for 4 to 6 minutes, turning once until the batter is deep golden brown. Drain on a wire rack. While the fish rest for a minute, toss the chips back into the 180 grease oil for 2-3 minutes until they are crispy and golden. Double frying is non-negotiable. The first fry cooks the potato through. The second fry makes them golden and crisp. Serve with malt vinegar plus a squeeze of fresh lemon.
What's with the toot sound at the end?
You mean toot?
The toot sound. Oh, is that really the secret to those like pub style chips? The French fries, they're double fried.
I think it sounds like that's non-negotiable.
Oh, damn. Did you know I worked at In-N-Out as the fry bitch for a while?
I did not know that. That is a fascinating new statistic about your previous life that I did not know.
You didn't know that?
No, I did not know you worked at In-N-Out.
The red skirt and everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you go to the In-N-Out University?
No. That's for the people that like went on to be managers. And like owners and stuff. But I played
You
on
didn't want to become a manager at In-N-Out? Did you ever consider it?
Can I speak? Yeah, of course. Because you can make a lot of money, and In-N-Out tastes delicious. And honestly, it was a great place to work. You know, it's like
It looked hectic watching them work in that.
it was hard work for sure.
Yeah.
But like the people like that you work with, they're all like good people.
Yeah.
People hang out. And like, you know, one of my good friends, Lorelai, I'm still friends with today. We met at In-N-Out. She actually trained me, and like I was a total pain in the ass person to train because I was just so uncoordinated, you know, like, you know, and just like so bad at working. I was like 19 maybe, like, and you know, that job actually helped me get a lot better at working in general because she was like, you know, what the fuck am I working with? Like this guy, he's so dumb and so lazy. Like, and but I wanted to do a good job. So eventually, you know, like I tried to just be funny, you know, to cover up for my inability to work hard and well and efficient. But like, they kept me around long enough to like, I finally caught on and got pretty good at it. And developed a work ethic. But that company, like I know they sneak like religious things on their cups and stuff like that, but like it's a really well run company.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I kind of peaked as far as well run companies when I was at In-N-Out. No offense to the current company I work at in the past one, but I did kind of peak.
Yeah.
Like that, because like, you know, like they treat their employees well. They pay them better than all the other like fast food restaurants, and then they provide opportunities to move up in the company with the burger college you mentioned. The food is delicious, and that's why I had to stop working there. I ate too much fucking In-N-Out.
Yeah.
My health started to deteriorate because you just get like so much In-N-Out for free when you work there. That's the only problem working there. That's the only problem.
Really, that's the only problem. I mean, that's a pretty good endorsement. I mean, I know I knew a couple of people that worked at In-N-Out when I lived in California, and they also were pretty stoked on working there. Like they did not have much
Beef?
like. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, but one of the other cool things about the company is they refuse to. One of the reasons that they're regional is because they don't freeze any of their ingredients. Like everything is actually fresh ingredients. So all of their beef is sourced from right nearby. It's all local, and it's like good quality. I mean, it's like crazy bad for you, but as far as really bad food, that's really bad for you, it's pretty good quality.
And their quality standards are so high. Like they have like quality control teams that like come in and audit to ensure that you're like cooking everything and handling everything perfectly, basically.
Yeah.
So like when you eat there, you're good. You know? Like, it's greasy, but like, you're not going to get food poisoning or anything like that. Like it's good stuff. It makes me want to go get some.
Dude, I really want In-N-Out right now, actually. I think we're getting one in Portland.
I know. I'm excited for that.
That is exciting. But it's also, there was something else I was going to say about In-N-Out, and now I forgot. Anyways.
That song made me really like hungry, and like it was really fun. Like it kind of channeled the Gorgol Bordello in me, you know?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh, dude, you gotta. If you haven't seen that band live, they're so fun.
That is a very energetic live act.
They're still playing live. I don't know, but yeah, that was a cool track, and I think we should dive into some Life Metal, Sun 2.
Yeah, let's hear it.
At least 60. The ocean looks a little bit choppy. Need light jacket to take dog on walking. Sun, let there be sun. Rise overhead. I'll wear a hat. I'm bald. I'm The parking lot was full today. It was hard to get a spot, but alas, a tourist left to plump in up their bells. Decided to go out anyways. YOLO, what the hell? Sun, let there be sun. Rise overhead, I'll wear a hat. I'm bald. I'm bald. Let there be sunrise overhead. I'll wear a hat. Turned out to be a really nice day. I can see some fish under my paddleboard. Sun, UV light my buns. Focus on the good things to make life more fun. Sun, give me that D. It boosts my immune system, makes me healthy. Thank you, sun. Thank you, sun. I'm grateful for what you do to my bud and the plants and the food that we eat. And you make hot girls hotter. Thank you with all my heart. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. I really liked that there's a bit of a motif in there that was kind of reused from
Yeah.
one song to the next,
Yeah.
which is actually a thematic element that was like conscientiously used in Colors by Between the Buried and Me. If you listen through it again, you'll pick out certain riffs where you're just like, oh, that's just a little taste of what's coming later.
Oh.
And
like
they do that
prelude.
a number. Yeah, they do that in a number of different ways.
Musical foreshadowing, if you will.
They have a song called "Prequel to the Sequel" in the album as well.
Interesting.
But they also there's this "Son of Nothing" is another track on Colors. So it's interesting that this band is another ode to the sun.
Yeah.
I particularly liked the line in "You make hot girls hotter."
Oh, yeah, because they're in the sun. Dude, I didn't pick that out. That's so funny.
That's pretty good.
That is really funny. It's dumb, but it's funny.
It is dumb.
Yeah. Okay. Rack of Lamb
Yeah, let's put on some Rack of Lamb.
by Lamb of God.
Lamb of Cod, Rack of Lamb.
If you're not hungry by this episode,
And if you're not picking up on what Lamb of Cod does, like they are a technical metal band that they just sing recipes about making fish.
and I will say, listen to this episode. It's about the length it takes from Portland to Kaiser to go to In-N-Out or your favorite fish restaurant that's far away. Maybe by the coast or something.
That's far away.
Like, there's
Yeah.
this really good like fish and chips place in Nehalem on the coast of Oregon.
Oh yeah,
Delicious.
I've heard of that place. Is that the one that's like always got a crazy line?
Yeah.
That's like 45-minute wait.
But it's worth it, and it's like right on this like river.
Me and Bree took the kids to the coast just for a weekend or when was it? It must have been spring break. And we went to this place called Gracie's Sea Hag
Ooh, that sounds good.
in Depot Bay. And it is just, the clam chowder there was unreal. Like clam chowder in a bread bowl, like homemade sourdough bread bowl. It was absolutely spectacular. Like
That's
I'm
awesome.
so hungry right now.
I know.
Oh my God.
Let's listen to Rack of Lamb.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's not all about fish. We also love lamb. ensures an even cook. Pat the meat dry with paper towels. Moisture is the enemy of a good crust. Preheat your oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Heat a cast iron skillet or heavy pan over high heat with a splash of oil. Sear the rack on all sides until brown. About 2 to 3 minutes per side. Once seared, let it cool for a minute. If using mustard, brush a thin layer over the meaty part of the rack. Rub your garlic and curd mixture firmly onto the meat. Place the rack in a roasting pan, bone side down, fat side up. Roast until you hit your desired doneness. Use a meat thermometer for accuracy. Highly recommend medium rare, which has an internal temperature of 135 degrees Fahrenheit. To a cutting board and tent it loosely with foil. Let it rest for at least 10 minutes. This allows the juices to redistribute. If you cut it immediately, the juice will run out and the meat will be dry. Between the ribs, serve with garlic, mashed potatoes, roasted heirloom carrots, or a minced pea puree. If you must have a sauce, a simple red wine reduction, or a classic mint chimichurri.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, that's so sweet. I'm not, honestly not that high to the point where I'm just like moving like this. I'm honestly just trying to, like, the weed gummy kicked in, but like it's not that much. And like I'm just trying to like work out the stress in my body. Like I remember when, and we will talk about this, but I remember like in my early 20s, I was like I could kind of dance actually. You know, I felt like I could cut the rug. I could
believe
move.
you. Yeah.
But like now I get why so many, especially white dudes, cannot dance as an adult because, for one, the culture. You know, it's just dancing's kind of frowned upon. But even even if it isn't, okay. Like in my case, it's not frowned upon. It's fine. Like if I want to dance, I dance. But like I just get so much stress in my ass from my office job and my shoulders and my back. And like my body can't move that well. And that's stiff white guy dancing. That explains it. Because we're not, you know, it's just like you're going to have to dance for like 5 hours before it gets good. Or you need a little help with like alcohol or, you know, weed gummy or a mixture. Even then, you know?
Well,
yeah.
I have always found that metal is particularly good for like getting the stresses out of your body. Like I've always relied on that. Dude, there was a good period of time where I would wake up every single morning. If I had like I worked a couple of jobs like when I was younger where I had to wake up really early. Mm-hmm. And I would listen to metal right away and on my way to work. Like I would take a shower and I would throw on like death metal. Wow. To just like get that, like, because you can get your juices going right away. And then I'm like stretched. I'm like, here we go. On the way to work, I'm like headbanging in the car. I'm just like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. I you know what I realized about metal? Like I really, every time I listen to metal, I like it. You know, just like what I liked it when I was a kid, when I was a metalhead. But I think the reason why I don't listen to it as much is that I'm a people pleaser. And women, you know, my wife in particular, don't typically, although some do, like metal, right? At a certain point, I think I realized like, oh yeah, like when I'm on a date or something, you know, and I'm going to put on music, I'm probably not going to put on Lamb of God. No offense.
Certainly not for every. I mean, it's only specific atmospheres and environments where it's relevant or welcome.
Yeah,
that's certainly the case.
But I might put on the weekdays.
Well, yeah,
or even the weekend.
The ho-ho-hos if it's the right time of season.
Right, the right time, you know, just to get the girl in the mood. But, or it's just like, oh, I think girls will like this kind of thing, right? But, yeah, I mean, unless you're like listening on headphones and like you're in a position, you know, at home, maybe your kids are watching TV, you don't have to actually parent, right? And you can actually fully like, you know, privately listen to your music with headphones on or downstairs or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I kind of had that realization is like, I'm even like a people pleaser with music sometimes, which is kind of sad to think about. But
well, Brie hates metal. She actually can't handle virtually any music that has any sort of distortion on the guitar at all. Like she's just like it. She can't handle it.
Well,
like it just. So our musical tastes, we have a lot of music that we like in common, but like anything even remotely heavy, she's just like a hard no on. So most of the time when I listen to metal, and that's actually probably true my whole life when I think about it, is usually by myself. Usually when I'm completely alone, either in the car by myself or with headphones on, is when I'm listening to metal. Other than that, it would probably just be at like a live show. If I'm going to a live show with a bunch of other metalheads.
Yeah. What about yard work? I get why like guys our age like yard work, you know, like I love it now. I'm like,
I do too.
I'm all about yard work now.
That's absolutely 100%. I love yard work.
I'm outside. I'm getting a little sun. I'm getting a little workout, and I get to just be alone and work on my project. And it's
play in the dirt.
It's amazing. Yeah,
absolutely.
And I get to listen to whatever I want. You know, I get to toot out whatever I want. No judgment from anyone. You know what I mean? Like it's amazing. So
100%. Yard work is the best.
Yard work. And then you feel like you get something done. You come back in the house, look, honey, look what I did, honey. Yeah. It's like,
you know, good the grass looks right now.
You know, and like when you're doing yard work and then like she goes, dinner's ready. It's the best. Like either my wife or my kids, dinner's ready, Dad. And then I come in to eat dinner and then I go back out there. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's awesome.
But I think we should listen to classic Cajun Catfish by Lamb of God.
We could. Did you have any others?
I did not.
I think we could listen to that one and then maybe we call it a night because it's getting pretty late.
Okay.
I'm starting to yawn.
Yeah.
But
let's do that.
What do you think?
Let's do that.
Close it out with classic Cajun Catfish.
By Lamb of God.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Together the buttermilk, hot sauce, and mustard. Add the catfish fillets, ensuring they are fully submerged. Let them soak for at least 15 minutes or up to an hour in the fridge. In a shallow dish or a heavy-duty gallon Ziploc bag, combine the cornmeal, flour, and all the spices. Shake or whisk until the color is uniform. Skillet, preferably cast iron, with about 1 inch of oil. Heat to 350 Relay the fish into the hot oil. Do not overcrowd the pan or the temperature will drop and the fish will get greasy. Fry for 2 to 3 minutes per side until deep golden brown. Remove the fillets and let them rest on a wire rack rather than paper towels to keep the bottom from getting soggy. For success, always pat your fish dry with paper towels before putting it in the buttermilk. This prevents the breading from sliding off in the oil. Most store-bought Cajun seasonings are very salty. If yours is cut back on any extra salt the recipe might imply. If you're making a big batch, keep the fried fish in a 200-degree oven on a baking sheet to stay crisped while you finish the rest.
Bruh.
I regret that I gave Liz the other half of my breakfast burrito tonight. Oh, because that would have been so good to just like come back and just like eat and just be gross and then go to sleep. You know, have a little heartburn. It would have been a magical night.
I think I have a half a bag of jalapeno chips in my pantry, which
Nice.
I might raid when we
Yeah,
get.
you should. All right, so I know it's time to end the show, but I was thinking for anybody that like writes like recipe articles online, like why not? I know you need to get ad revenue, right? So why don't you start playing some of our songs when next time you cook fish and chips, for example, or rack of lamb, right? And you're writing about your article, you know, play one of our songs, and then eventually, once the people get hooked, you could sneak in your own little ad in there or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or feel free to use some of these tracks if for those food influencers out there.
Your videos.
You know,
Right.
it'd be perfect for that, right?
It would be. And with that, we say,
Bye.
why do we end the show like that, man?